All right, so let's talk about how to use string class. Okay. So first place that we like to go is the Java doc. Java doc is where you can find a documentation about a class. Like now we try to use string class and we want to know how to use this. So this is a good place to go. It's just like manual for that, right? Java doc. So how to read Java doc? So it's under java.lang package. And the description here is showing you how to use that. Normally you use it when you declare a variable to store data, like string name equals to your name, right? Or when you do the previous class exercises, like hello with your name, you need to read in and store. Use scanner to do that next and store the values into the variables, right? So that's pretty much string. Like you may notice that it's capitalized. Like I always tell you that when you name a class, you should capitalize the first letter. So that's the standard. So that's why string is a class. We see it's capitalized on the first letter. Now, another way to declare, we can create an array of the characters. So this bracket means array. Square brackets, we cover that in chapter 7 later. But when you see bracket, this means an array. An array is just a group of data that has the same type. Like we have letters as its characters, A, B, C. So there are 3 letters in a group of an array. So you can just pass an array to. This is a class way, like string str equals to new string. So new string is like create a new instance named str. New instance, we like to call instance. Like this is called variables, but when we create a new object or instance, okay, form a class named string, which has the values initialized using data. So that's how we look at how you create a class. That's another way to look at. And also, what we want to focus here, actually, we want to focus on something like this. You're going to create a string instance or a variables, right? But normally we don't call variables if it's an instance of a class, so we just call instance or an object. So in this case, it is an object of the class or instance of the class, then means that we can have an access to the methods. The method is pretty much technically like a function. So like this is the method, right? Like when you do dot next in scanner, right? Keyboard input, right? Dot next, or the option pane we do dot show message dialog. So same string can do that too, like CDE as the instance name dot substring. So substring pretty much just return a portion or a sub of the string starting from index 1. Now when we look at CDE, C is at index 0. Okay, so 1 should be D. So that means starting from D and ending at index 2, which is index 2 is E. But it's not including ending, so that's why it's just returns the values as substring. Which is, you see when you print that, it should be just D. Like That's why we say string D. So beside using the methods through the instance name CDE, we can also, the string itself normally is a quotation, right? We don't have to create instance for that. We can just also do dot substring. So this is one of the methods, substring 2, 3, which will return C. Because starting from index 2 and end at 3, which is C. Now we can try this. Okay. So I'm going to create the text file, right? So let's go to desktop and make a new folder. I'm going to create a new file, say string demo.java. Alright, so public class string demo, and then we do open curly braces, right? And public static void main string args. So we go test a system.out.print, and let's test just a simple string like that's my name dot substring. So we are test the method name substring. Like we see here, it's actually lowercase s. So substring. So that's the method, and we gonna say, like if I say 0, 1, that should return starting from index 0, which is letter T, and ending at index 1, which is A. So it's only return T. It's not including the ending index. So let's test that. So we need to set the path, right? So that's export path. Now C / program files / Java / JDK 1.8.0_65 / bin. Now let's test Java C. Alright, works now. Okay, so we can compile the program now after we set the path. So there's an error. Okay, I forget to closing plain ln, right? So go back and go to fix that. Recompile it. Alright, no errors. Returns a letter T as we expected, right? So Let's see if I modify this to say 0, 1. So let's do 4, 0, 1. So 0 is going to be T, 1 is A, 2 is N, 3 is E, and 4 is S. So it should return just 10E, right? Because not including the last one, not including at index 4. So let's recompile this and run this again. Right, 10E. Now, the next step that we want to look at is, this is just introducing you to how to use the method for string. We can actually look at the Java doc and see. So first part is the field. Okay, so field is pretty much just, there's a case insensitive order, which is a comparator that orders string object as by compare to ignore case. So at this point, don't worry about this, we're not going to use it. Okay. Constructor. Let's look at the constructor. Constructor, what's constructor? We've seen it here when we create new string. So this is called a constructor. So constructor, when you create an instance or an object from the class, you actually use constructor. You have to create from the constructor. So there's so many constructors, okay? And this concept we call overloaded. Like they have the same name. Constructor pretty much the same as your class name, but it is actually like a method with parentheses. So the point of constructor is just to initialize the values of your instance or object. Let's test how to use constructor. So I'm going to get into the code again. Now I'm going to create a new string, and I'm going to create from a constructor. Let's say new word. Okay, new word equals to new string. So I'm calling a constructor. So a constructor can be, the example here I shown you, it can construct from an array, right? Or it can actually, this is an array of bytes. It can be an empty constructor. That means you're not giving the values to it. Like if I just do like that, so I'm not giving any values to it. So if I print out, it pretty much has nothing because there's no values to it. Like let me concatenate with something, then we pretty much know if it's printing anything. So let's recompiling this and rerun this. See, there's nothing in there, new world. Now, if we actually insert something through the constructor, it's actually going to be initializing the values right at that point. Hello. So let's recompile this and test. And you see it's actually going to show hello. Alright.